Even though I'm recommending that film school is worthless in today's day and age in picking up skills for you to learn filmmaking, at least the basics of filmmaking, there are a few things that I have picked up while my time in filmmaking school. And that's exactly what I'm going to tell you today. So, welcome, story lovers, to the Story Dude Show with your host, Jared Dean Winchester, bringing you another episode for the month of June 2024. So, let's get right into it, shall we? First thing that I did learn in film school is asking the question. I've been asked this question a few times, and I didn't really think about it as much when I was writing my movies, but now it does. Looking back at the most successful movies that have been around, that have been successful to begin with, eventually, I struggled to answer this question, which I know is a very important question. Why is this story happening to this particular character? Meaning, if you have a character, why is that story happening to him or her? So the basic premise of this is the character that you have in question. How is this character going to change by the end of your film, by the end of your story? Now, when the story concludes, what lessons and what change are we to expect? Are the audience to expect when the story concludes? So that's what I figured out what that meant. Now the second thing is, if you're going to work with actors, you need to understand that actors do not and cannot act states of being. So a lot of filmmakers and a lot of directors make the mistake of telling their actors or instructing their actors to deliver a line more angry or more sadder or something like that. Those are states of being. It's the motivation behind the line that they're trying to deliver. So something that is actionable. So that's what I learned. I learned actors understand action verbs. Therefore, in any screenplay, in any description, in a screenplay, action verbs need to be there, and this is why you are told to use adjectives and adverbs sparingly. Where possible, avoid it, and where possible, use more action verbs. Verbs that the actors can pick up on and they can deliver a performance that you are looking for. You, as the director, are looking for. So working with actors effectively is something that is very significantly, that's notable, that is very helpful, that's very useful, extremely useful rather, is what I picked up in film school. I will also say that the things that did not go well or did not sit well with me is every screenwriting course or class that you went to, that I went to, the first question that screenwriting instructors have asked is, why do we watch movies? While ignoring the fact that we are in a screenwriting class. So, that is something that I had to think critically. When I thought about that critically, I thought, hang on a minute, something must be wrong here. Maybe this is why we are seeing an upsurge or a plethora or a pantheon of mediocre films. Because when you take an idea from screenwriting class, a student says, hey, I've got this great idea. Or a screenwriter says, hey, I've got this great idea. I'd like to turn this into a film. Now, in their mind, it can be a great idea. But this is one of the rare occasions where I will need to agree with the critics on. Majority of the time, say 95% of the time, I disagree with the critics on a lot of things. But the rest 5% of the time, there is something that I will agree with them on. This is one of them. The taking of a quote-unquote great idea, which, by the way, is subjective, take that and turn it into a film without even challenging the writer why they're doing this. Now, if you aren't aware, now, filmmaker from Tollywood, S.S. Rajamouli, said this about filmmaking. Don't just make films just for the heck of making money. Make a film because you believe in your characters and in your story. Now, my question to you today is, how many filmmakers do you know, or how many directors do you know that believe in their characters and in their stories? This is an honest question. Once you get the answer, I guarantee you a lot of them will either say they're just doing it to get famous, they're just doing it to make more money, to art, so that their expression of art, and doing it for art's sake, and glorifying anything that occurs in everyday life. They're taking that and glorifying it, calling it art, which, by the way, is a terrible answer, is a terrible reason to become a filmmaker and a director. Now, when I do this, when I venture into a script, I try to, in my mind, try to get to know everything about that character before I even write it down, before I even grab a pen and handwrite in script form. So, instead of just doing just the heck of it, for the heck of making a film, I would recommend you answer these questions. Now, there are people out there who say, and if you can't answer these questions, don't make your film. And they give you a list of other questions that the audience might be looking at. But hey, guess what? It is up to you to do your research, find out what the audience knows about a particular topic that you want to present in, and use your creativity to give it to them. But also, the element of believing in your characters and in your story does not come up when they ask you these questions. So, if you cannot answer this question, do you believe in your characters and in your story? Don't write your film or don't make your film. That will be my question to you. You have to answer this question. Now, there may be others who have more than one question, but for me, the important part is, do you believe in your characters and your story? Because if you don't, never write it. Now, self-expression of something into a film. Now, sometimes it can work if your audience is on the same page as you, pun intended. But in reality, there's two things. Believe in your characters and in your story. And if you come across a critic that excessively uses the words unrealistic or illogical or anything to do with reality, any association that they make with reality when critiquing your film or your content, that critic is not worth listening to. That critic is not worth your time. It's not worth your effort. But the moment you believe in your characters and in your story, I guarantee you, this is based on S.S. Rajamouli's work, you're going to make it work. You're going to make a film that people will love. So start believing in your characters and in your story, and that is the only question you need to answer. Besides that, filmmaking school is still a waste of money. But if you still wish to go and learn everything you need about filmmaking, ask yourself this question. Do I believe in my characters and in my story? Is that why I'm going to film school? Same question you need to ask yourself when you're writing anything. Same question when you're writing a movie or when you're writing a TV show. Do I believe in my characters and in my story? Now, I know I keep telling you this time and time again, and I also done this in my podcast. But if you cannot answer this question, don't write your film. Don't do it. So with that being said, this is Jared Dean Winchester, also known as the Story Dude. Like, comment, and subscribe because I post anywhere between 2 to 3 episodes per month of the Story Dude show, and that depends on the month. And as always, thank you for joining me, and until I see you again, don't forget to turn that page.